Hey, what's going on, everybody? In this one, we're going to look at some ways this offseason we can still be making money with NBA Top Shot. So I'm going to get into a few different ways here in this video, so stick around for all of them. Also, like the video real quick just before we get started here so we can get more people watching this and making money with Top Shot, which is definitely a big part of Top Shot. It's fun to collect and all that, but also making a little money, flipping moments for profit is pretty fun as well. So let's get into this one. First off, what you can do here is just target some longer term plays. So it might not pay out this summer, even this off season, but if you pay close enough attention to free agency, I've been putting out some videos just about NBA, not necessarily Top Shot. If you're paying attention to those and just other news, you kind of figured what teams are going to be good next year, what teams are going to be title contenders, which teams are going to improve the most. So definitely, if we come over here to the marketplace, the Lakers improved a ton. They look like they're probably going to be either the first or second favorites when the sports betting comes out for the futures. Who's going to win the championship next year? It's probably going to be Nets or Lakers. So those are two teams that I'm going to want to target a lot of their players and scoop up their moments for cheap in this offseason. Once we see kind of a market dip, and actually, before we start looking at some of these players, if we come over to add more funds, which I'll link below, you can see the last 7 days, the entire market is actually up 8%. So all these moments, I actually have it filtered by which ones are up the most, which is a Luka, Cool Cat, apparently, and then Iguodala, and then Bagley. Are up the most, but if you add all the moments together, they're up a total of 8% in the last 7 days. In the last 24 hours, actually up 6%. So market's actually looking pretty good right now, but I expect a few dips here in the offseason. So I'm actually trying to target new Lakers players, like Carmelo I think would be a good one for the Lakers. Also Malik Monk. I mean, these guys just didn't get as much exposure in the regular season when they were on kind of mid-market teams, and now they're obviously on the Lakers, going to be playing with LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Westbrook. So I expect these guys to actually improve on their moments. Malik Monk is only $20 here for his debut. Melo a little more expensive, $120, but I still think that these could be some good buys. And then if we're looking at Nets, I saw some really cheap Kevin Durant moments out there. So you can get a Durant for as cheap as $10. Could be an insanely good buy. I remember this one a few weeks ago was in the 20s. So still good value on some Durants here. I mean, $19 for this one. And then the next team I want to talk about that's going to make probably the biggest improvement from last year is the Chicago Bulls. Didn't even make top 10 to make the play-in game last year, but then they added Lonzo Ball and DeMar DeRozan, as well as adding Vucevic in the middle of last year. So I think they're just going to insanely improve, definitely make the playoffs. And I do like targeting some of the new guys that weren't on the Bulls last year, like DeRozan, but then also a guy like Zach LaVine could be potentially an all-star next year, as well as Lonzo. I think these are the three most marketable players on the Bulls, and they're going to have the best outcome for their Top Shot moments as far as increase, and should also see a lot of media time and television time with this talent they have, and then also just with Lonzo. So the next way is they're going to try to keep you engaged in the off season with Top Shot. So paying attention to their Discord and their announcements of things that are going on. Obviously, right now we have some challenges that you can flip moments in, as well as a showcase quest. So for this one, you need these 5 players. So just flipping your moments, if you have them in your collection, could be a good thing. If we come back to add more funds, we saw that Bagley was the second biggest mover in the last 7 days, and that's because of this challenge. So this 40K moment, I guess, went from $3 to $5, but his other moment, so his debut moment here, if we look in just the last 7 days. You can see it went from $30 here to as high as $49, and it's still holding like mid 40s because he's in that showcase quest. So taking advantage of those is still a thing in the off season, and just keeping on top of these upcoming challenges and quests, you can definitely still make a lot of money just flipping moments during that. So the third way is we're still in the middle of free agency, still a lot of players out there. If you're paying attention to free agency at all and have kept up with Top Shot versus free agency, you can see that these signings and players going to teams, pretty much any kind of news of them signing anywhere will bump up their moments for the most part. So trying to get ahead of those and buy some of these free agents that are still out there. I know we have Reggie Jackson still out there. It's going to be a big one, as well as Kawhi is either going to sign a huge contract with the Clippers or somewhere else. If he goes somewhere else, which is pretty low percentage, his moments would probably go way up. And just recently we saw Kemba Walker sign with the Knicks, so a lot of big stuff still happening in free agency. And if we come over here to add more funds, you can see what I'm talking about. Kemba Walker, his Top Shot debut up 55% today since this news broke. So it was about $47 right before the news, and then all of a sudden jumped up into the 70s. So a pretty big increase on this one. I mean, you're looking at $25 profit if you just bought this one a couple days before. Honestly, I didn't even think about this, that he was obviously going to get bought out by the Thunder, and it was going to go somewhere else. I don't know why I didn't think to buy this one, but this is a moment that you could have definitely flipped for free agency. One that I took advantage of. If we come back here, we can see in my activity. So Kendrick Nunn, I just sold for $66 for his debut, and I bought it 1 week ago for $49. So a pretty good flip on that one is $17. I knew he was going to get a good free agent deal. Didn't know he was going to go to the Lakers, but that probably bumped it up even more, and had a pretty good flip on that one. Some other guys that I'm still waiting to sell. I did buy Bagley for $30, and he's a part of this challenge, which bumped him up to mid 40s, but I think you can even wait longer and he might get traded, and it could go even higher. So I'm kind of waiting on Bagley. And then a guy I talked about, Reggie Jackson, I have 2 of his debut moments, just $5 each. So still a lot to come in free agency that you can take advantage of, and those are just a few examples there of how you can still make money flipping during free agency. So lastly, just a quick market update. It seems like it's holding pretty strong after the finals were over, which is surprising. A lot of people thought that it was going to tank, but we could see it tank even more, and that's kind of when I would buy back in more to the moments during this offseason. It's still kind of the beginning of the offseason. Maybe Summer League will get people a little excited, and then after that it might take another dip. So I'm still waiting for a time to invest more into players besides like free agent guys that I've been flipping. So definitely let me know what you guys think about these ways to make money with Top Shot. If you're still into Top Shot, can't wait for the Series 3, honestly, for me, and kind of see the new things that they do for the season upcoming. And definitely leave a like on the video and subscribe for more on Top Shot and NBA news, and I'll see you guys in another video.